Hey, this is Chris Lowery, your independent candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff 2026. Um, Seeing if we can get some technical difficulties worked out. Bear with me just a minute. I believe we are live right now. Understand that part of my process happens because I use a third-party software so I can straighten to multiple locations at one time. It seems to be very good for me. I'm very pleased with the product. However, sometimes we appear to have some technical difficulties. So let's see what happens here. It says I'm live right now. All right. Bear with me just a minute. All right. I think we are live now. I think your technical difficulties are worked out. All right. I think we are live now. I think your technical difficulties are worked. All right. Again, this is Chris Lowery, your independent candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff, November of 2026. I normally come to you live on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30. However, I do want to apologize is that this next week I have been selected to teach a class to the police department, and I will be tied up in the evening hours all this week. So I may try to go live during a break for the classroom just so I can re-hit some folks that may not see this. But I do want to have an opportunity to speak with all my supporters, voters, and some new ones. It's been a great week since last Monday when I spoke to everybody. I've been working hard out here campaigning, working, running the business, and just doing all good things, right? So lots of stuff transpiring this week as it seems to always be. I would like to make sure, Kim, can you hear me okay? I see you say you can't hear me. I've adjusted my microphone and doing some different things here, just trying to make a cleaner broadcast, kind of anticipating for when I am the sheriff, because I plan on continuing doing these things weekly or at least monthly to give updates to the citizens of Jefferson County. I think that's part of being transparent and doing what we do for the sheriff's office and the constituents of Jefferson County. So good to see you on here, Kim. If y'all would like and share it with anybody, try to get some more folks on there. We'll talk about some things going on within Jefferson County. Remind people that my message is getting out there. I come across different people all the time. Let me look up a message I just got today. Let's see. I know somebody was trying to send me a message, and let's see. Let me jump on there and try to get that. So I was out working last night, and an individual recognized me and started talking about. Said, "Hey, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, we can't talk about that right now, but yes." So the message is getting out there. Everybody knows that Jefferson County is in desperate need of some change. In different areas, from the sheriff's office to some JPs. Some people believe that the county judge needs to be changed out and what have you. So, there is a current vote going on right now. The early voting is happening tomorrow. That's the last day for early voting. And then the actual runoff election will be on Tuesday. So Tuesday, about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, we will know who the next county judge is going to be. So if you've not had the opportunity to go out and vote, please go do that, do your civic duty, and get your vote cast, because every vote counts, ladies and gentlemen, in these local politics, city, townships, counties, what have you. Every vote does count. We saw during the primary that an individual running for JP, I believe, lost by 4 votes, right? So if that don't tell you every vote counts, I don't know what else will. So I would encourage you highly to get out and do your civic duty tomorrow if you can. Get this early vote out of the way. You can do that down at the Jefferson County Courthouse. If you can't do it, you'll do it at your normal polling location. So again, if you're just jumping on here, this is an opportunity for people to talk to me and ask questions about what we got going on. Let's see, what's your position on people with problems being dumped in Jefferson County? So I believe that's Jihad. Hey, Jihad, welcome to my live. Yeah, that's a huge problem. I see that out here on the streets, that people show up here from all different areas, states, and cities. It is a huge problem because we don't have the resources down here to deal with it and get people help, right? So my position on that is it's wrong. You can't do what I call what I believe they're thinking they're doing, which is hitting the easy button and taking people from their community and putting them in our community and using it as a dumping grounds. And absolutely, that is wrong. It's kind of a two-headed coin. Once they're here, I think we needed to be able to provide them some resources and opportunities to succeed and get help, whether that's mental health, programs, homeless shelters, whatever. And you know that we are very much lacking in this area within all of Jefferson County, but particularly in Pine Bluff, the largest city within Jefferson County. And so there are some people out there trying to do some great things, and I want to partner with them as the next sheriff of Jefferson County. But my position on that is that it is wrong. It is no way is that helping a citizen out, or is it, and it's hurting our community, right? So I believe what we need to be doing is, as we locate them, it's kind of a two-part series on that, and that's going to be, let's find out who's doing it and why they're doing it, hold them accountable. But we can't just turn around and take people that have been put here, to use your words, dumped here. I think we need to try to get them, those people, some resources, and whether, like I said, like it's mental health, utilizing the behavioral analysis place, Southeast Behavioral, or JRMC's new behavioral place, work centers, and have programs designed to try to assist these individuals. There is a large population of people in Pine Bluff and Jefferson County that seem to suffer from mental health issues, and I don't think we need to be dealing with other people that are dumping people here for sure. So I think by holding those communities, those municipalities or counties that are doing that to us, hold them accountable, call them on the carpet about it, as well as trying to better the ones that are here. So I see a lot of problems. What it leads to is, tent cities. I have seen tent cities around. It's a homeless population, and it also increases in the crime level because people that are suffering from mental illness and aren't getting the proper medical care and treatment that they could do to be a better productive member of our society, that leads to problems that ends up leading to law enforcement being involved and crimes being committed. So I believe that what we need to be doing is working twofold with it, right? So hopefully that answers you, Jihad. Bear with me for a second. I keep hearing some feedback, or maybe you are losing me a little bit, so I want to adjust the microphone. But yeah, Jihad, I would love to partner with people and help provide a solution for that. I think that if we conducted some roundtables and talked about different resources, that's part of what my platform has talked about. There's many vacant buildings and warehouses and so forth, and large houses within Jefferson County that I think we should be able to look at getting some nonprofits involved, some community organized events structured with all the municipalities around here that have some financial means, as well with private partners and grant funding to get us a legitimate unhoused center, homeless center back here to be able to get people off the streets, partner with places like Opportunity House and see how their program is working and have some measurables on their success on if they've been able to get people gainfully employed and give them some life skills so that they can start functioning for themselves and being a proper member of this society and be productive member of this society. So I think by doing that, we would be well on our way to helping people out. And then if people come here, then we deal with that and try to make the best we can. I guess one way to simply put at it is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? So they're here. By no means am I suggesting that we just turn our eye to them, turn our backs to them. I think we need to provide them with some services, but I do think we need to find out who, what, when, where, and why this is happening. So I do know that does happen. I've seen it out here in this community, and as well as I've worked in other communities, I've noticed it there too. So it seems to be a commonplace amongst law enforcement. You got a problem child, you got a person that you're constantly dealing with that might be suffering from mental health issues. I've seen where they just shuttle them down the road, push them down the road to the next county, the next city, or whatever, and it becomes the easy button. And if you know me, I do not like the easy button. I like the convenient button. I like what's best for the overall program, whether that's business or government, right? So I think what's best as the overall with this is to partner with outside agencies, and let's get some programs in place. Let's get some housing opportunities in place, and let's do better for our community. So how say you, Jihad? What do you think on that? What's your position on it? What do you have? What's your perspective? What do you think that could be done? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Yeah, Kim, exactly. That has something that just to your point, you've seen it in other counties. I've seen it here too. So I don't think that's a problem that's unique to Pine Bluff. However, I do think there's pieces to the puzzle that people think that Pine Bluff is an okay dumping ground because of reputation that is unearned, that is just the belief of surrounding counties and surrounding cities. And so it might be a little higher here. I don't have the stats to really tell you the exact numbers on that, but I do think it happens everywhere. But I could agree with Mr. Muhammad saying that that is possible. So let's see. Welcome, Shannon. I hope something changes because the sheriff's department claims they just now figured out that I'm the judge awarded the protection order on my daughter. Her daddy has been violating since it's been awarded in November, and here it is almost April, and they claimed it wasn't in their system. Shannon, I hate to hear that. If there's been an issue between the courts and you and the sheriff's office, let me know if there's a way I can help you work that out. I would encourage you to go down to the court's office, to the clerk's office, and start to see what that process is. Based off your statement there, it talks about, or you're mentioning that they just figured it out. So hopefully, once they have figured it out, instead of us having to focus on the true negatives about how they have failed or had issues before, let's correct the problem so it don't happen again. And hopefully they can serve him with that order of protection if that's truly the case. Make whatever criminal decisions they need to make on that, and then get your child back into your hands. So I hope that works out for you. Jihad, are you still on here? I am getting some sort of an error. I would like to see. Yeah, I'm not seeing his comment. I got a comment on because I'm using some third-party software, and it's just telling me viewer comments will not be visible when streaming to Facebook profile unless the stream is set to public. By default, the streaming set is friends. Oh, hang on. Bear with me for just a second. Let me log into Facebook itself, because I would like for y'all, I don't want any stuff to be not seen, right? I think it's fair and public. What I tell people is that no question is too tough, and all questions deserve to be answered. If you've been following me for any length of time, you've always heard me say that. And so if there's any filtration out there, I want to make sure and get that fixed. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I will check into it. Let me know if you think your comments, questions, concerns are not being shown. Gladly show it as long as it's in a respectful manner, and answer it to the best of my ability. So anyway, everybody knows that I go live every Monday from 6:30 to 7:30 minimally. A lot of times it runs long. But this week I have been tasked with teaching a class to some officers to get them trained on some new technology, and that's going to be all week. and by being blessed and trusted with taking care of that, it's an honor to be able to train officers on some new technology. And so I don't believe I'm going to be able to go live tomorrow at 6:30. So I told Kathy that I was going to come down here for a little bit into my studio, set some things up differently, verify that the software is working correctly. As last week, if you remember, I had a lot of technical difficulties. Put my new background up. Let me see what y'all think. Y'all like that new background? As well as answer any questions that you may have. I would love to hear Van Hausmazen, hear what his thoughts are on the question that he asked me, what my position on people with the problems was. Let's see. I wonder if I can see if I can get him back on here. I'd just love to hear that. Anyway, I'm asking him. If that was him asking the question, I think he was answering through his business page. So if it is, I'd just love to hear his thoughts and engage with him. He's very much a community activist. He's in the know of what's going on. I'll highlight that question there so everybody know what I'm talking about. This question, I believe, comes from Mr. Jihad Muhammad, and just want to see what his position on it is. Says it came from Facebook. Anyway, I believe that's his business page. So anyway, but this week it's been great. Met a lot of great people. People are still seeing me and recognizing me and saying, "Hey, you're the guy running for sheriff. We need change. We need change. We need change." And you know what the message that I'm going to stick to from now until the November election is that not only do we need change, but we need to demand transparency and we need to demand accountability. So I think it's very ironic that during this race that it's the first time I really started paying a lot of attention to the political side of it, right? I told y'all before, I've never been a politician, and you know, I'm only running for sheriff because I feel like we need change. We need a safer, more efficient jail. We need to be more accountable on crime and tougher on crime. And as I looked around, those things weren't happening, and there was only two people running for sheriff at the time. That has now been reduced down, and then I put my name in the ring for that. And then now one of those was eliminated. Mr. Mark Cannon lost in the primary to the incumbent sheriff, Sheriff Woods. And so now it's between him and I in November. And so what I'm talking about is transparency and accountability. Is that, you know, people ask me questions, which is great, and I love it. I don't mind answering any question that you got. Again, I tell you, no question is too tough, and all questions deserve to be answered. However, I am suggesting to you that hold these people that you already have in office accountable. Ask those questions. You know, if you're putting it on a comment to Facebook and they're deleting it, or if they're blocking you, or if you're making a telephone call and not getting a call back, you know, continue on with that. Go up there, go to their office. Those are all public offices. I don't care if it's the sheriff, the county judge, the JP. Those are all public offices that you have voted for and put them in their position. And if there's an issue with something they're doing, ask them. If there's a question, because we all know of situations that are not being answered, where people are not being fully transparent with the people that put them in there. So I would encourage you to please go out, ask those tough questions to them too. I don't know, I don't want to say it's unfair, but I will say it's ironic to me that you ask a candidate a question that you're not asking the elected official. I don't know, you know, I don't know really another way to put that other than, you know, it's time to hold people accountable. We've got what we got. We've earned what we got by putting people in office. And whether that's budgetary issues, road issues, or people getting killed, or low or high crime rates, or you know what have you, or lack of services from our sheriff's office, or lack of services from our county officials. I think, you know, the right thing to do is to ask those questions to those people that have been in office. You know, they've been in there for 7, 8, 20 years in some cases in some JP positions. So you really need to be asking them tough questions as well. Don't just come after the candidates. Respectfully ask them questions, just like I'm telling you to respectfully ask candidate questions. And get the answers that you feel is needed, because that is only the right thing to do. Uh, so, Kim, great question. You said, why are homicides that happen in the city not counted as county homicides? Just curious. So, that has to do with NIBRS, which is your national database that talks about. I want to give you the proper definition. I know what it is. NIBRS is it's the National Incident Based Reporting System, NIBRS, and what that is it's the FBI's mandatory detailed reporting standard for U.S. crime data. It was adopted fully across the nation in 2021 to replace older systems, but it captures an in-depth data at a group and offense categories, including demographics, victim offender relationships, weapons used, so forth and so on. And each NIBRS number is associated with geographical location. So when you say in the city, I would say maybe that number is not reported as a county number. I would have to investigate that for sure. I'll give you an example that I know of for sure is the 2 homicides that happened in the Dub Brazel Detention Center. Those were counted as Pine Bluff homicides because they happened in the city limits. I don't agree with that, much to your point of your question, I believe. However, I think a reasonable deduction would say that if a homicide happened in Pine Bluff, that it counts for Pine Bluff, but the city sits in the county. So it kind of counts, it don't count as 2 homicides, but when you're doing research and doing data collection and you notice that, hey, in this county, because we are only 1% safer than other counties throughout the state, according to the FBI. So a majority of that crime comes from Pine Bluff because that's where a majority of your population is at, right? So I think a reasonable deduction there would be to say that if those homicides are crime that happens in the city and that city happens to be in a particular county, then that crime counts for the county as well when you look at it as a total grade, a total deal. So last time I looked, matter of fact, I'll pull that up and gladly share that screen. So in case they've updated, I hadn't looked at it in quite a while. Let's see. I'm pulling this up to see. All right, I'm looking at this right here off of crimeexplorer.com. Hold on, I'll gladly share this with you as well. This is for Jefferson County, Arkansas. Let me switch back to this. Give me just a second and we will share this screen. All right, so I'm going to share that with you. This is a crime overview for Jefferson County, Arkansas. Goes from 2019 to 2024. It just goes to your point, your question. So violent crimes, a D, homicides, a F, rapes, a C, robbery, A, aggravated assault, D. But that goes to show you that when you talk about Jefferson County as a whole, and then we all know, let's see, homicides from 2019 to 2023 says there was 135. Says Jefferson County, Arkansas is served by 5 law enforcement agencies. Over the past 5 years, 2019 to 24, the county recorded 12,420 violent crimes and 13,583 property crimes. The average violent crime rate stands at 152.1 per 100,000, which is 43.2% above the national average. Property crime rates range from 156.6 per 100,000 to 4.3. It's 4.3 below the national average. The most common offense was property crimes, while homicide had the lowest data. The source from the FBI Crime Data Explorer reflects totals over a 5-year period. So, just to answer your question, I believe that is why, Kim, is that we are in a city that's in the county, and that's reported everywhere, right? So Whitehall crimes are reported in Whitehall through neighbors, but Whitehall is in the county, Redfield, Wabaseka, so forth and so on, except for in those cities that do not have a police department, they do go underneath the county's neighbors numbers, I believe. So, that's just the way the neighbor system is set up. And I believe that should answer your question. We don't always have to agree with what we got, the way they're doing it, but we do have to respect the process and understand that that's what it is. But again, in short, if it's a crime that happens in a municipality, such as Pine Bluff, to your question, why did it not count as the county? Well, it kind of does, because Pine Bluff sits in, it is the county seat for Jefferson County. And then therefore, if, another part of that is, I don't know that it would be fair to hold the sheriff's office 100% accountable for all crime in the city when they're not even patrolling the city, right? So that's when we talk about, and part of my platform, my plan is to be able to work with local municipalities, state and federal agencies to combat this high crime rate that we have, and take some of that brunt off. Last night, very busy night, a lot of stuff popping off there at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Some violence of action occurred, and we just have got to get control over this. The amount of gunfire and victims being shot, and pure lawlessness happening in the Jefferson County, creating the crisis that we have, has got to come to a stop. We have got to partner with all agencies within this county and have some task force and a one common goal, one common mission, right? So, but hopefully that answers your question, Kim. Throughout this week, like I said, I have been meeting with different people and getting the name out there and understanding the process. I'm still hearing people complaining about response times in unincorporated areas, and I'm trying to explain to them what my process is on that. I'll take this opportunity to talk about it as well, is that we will be, once we take office, we will be looking at trimming manning down in certain areas where they possibly could be overstaffed, and putting butts in seats, right? What that means is putting people back in patrol cars, marked units, and in uniforms, so that not only can it be a deterrent, but it can be a community deterrent for crime, but accountability and relationship building within our community. So that's what we look forward to doing, and cutting down those response times and going from 2 deputies on duty at a time to anywhere from 3 to 5. Once I have complete and total access at call volumes and understanding what the call volume and call load from the investigative side to the jail side, to the patrol side looks like. So we will be doing that, because everywhere I go, when I talk to people in the unincorporated area, they talk about slow response times, right? They talk about it taking 30, 45 minutes to get an officer to their house. And I would just tell you, in an emergent situation, in a life or death situations, seconds matter. So the quicker we can get there, the quicker we can serve our community, the quicker we can serve the citizens of Jefferson County and make it more for a safe environment for everybody. So, just keep spreading that word for me. All of you guys are seem to be my loyal followers. Like and share this video and see if we can't get some more people on here. Interesting to hear any questions that you have. I know, out in the Watson Chapel area, the Farm Lane, Rayhan Road area, they talk about lack of seeing deputies. I know across the river, when I talk to the farmers on the north side, they talk about lack of proactive policing and lack of, I'll just describe it as what they say is care when they have crimes committed against them, whether that's thefts, or what have you. They talk about not even being able to get a report, and I just find that very concerning. If citizens of Jefferson County are not getting the services that they desire, the services that they need, the response that they need from the elected officials and their law enforcement agencies. So all those things will be changing once you get me into office. So again, on my platform, we talk about being tough on crime and accountability on crime. I have tried to be thoughtful of the way people perceive words. It was brought to my attention a while back that the words tough on crime means something different to some people than it does to me. And so I want to take that into consideration. And I've kind of altered that word a little bit to being accountable on crime. And what I want to talk about on that is accountability on crime just means this, is that you will be spoke to when you commit a crime. You will be held accountable and talk to law enforcement when you violate the law. The examples that I give on minimal level is if you run a stop sign, that does not mean that you get a ticket. That does not mean that you go to jail. What that means is that if you violate the law, if you violate a Arkansas Rules of Criminal Procedure, if you violate a traffic law or criminal law, and my law enforcement professionals that are underneath my command will hold you accountable for that. And that means having an interaction. That means trying to find out the why it happened the way it happened, if it was running a stop sign or whatever. That's and then we'll deal with it accordingly. So absolutely. But that also means that if you're out there violating the law, if you're violating criminal law, that you will be held accountable, that you'll be taken to the Dub Razzle Detention Center, booked and processed, entered into our APHIS system. And I know there is a belief out there that, well, it's just a misdemeanor crime or what have you. And in the current administration, there are some felony crimes, some felonious crimes that are not being taken to jail. But I'm telling you, as a law enforcement professional, it is my opinion that low-level crimes lead to higher-level crimes, and lack of accountability leads to people just feeling like they can get away with it. And so when someone is a convicted felon carrying a firearm unlawfully and they're not held accountable for it, they're just going to do it again, which leads to the shootings like we had last night. So under my administration, that jail doors will be open, cameras will be working, fingerprint machines working, fully staffed, to the point that if me and my administration have to go down there to do it, to make it fully staffed, that's what we'll be doing. That is not what's happening now. And that's okay, because that's what they feel like they can get away with. And we as voters have got to stop letting them get away with that. So when you've had a crime committed against you, and it just happened this week, that, we took somebody to jail for a crime they committed, a criminal violation. The jail wouldn't take them. And then immediately this person was released with a citation and turned around and went right back over to where they were arrested at and created the same problem that they got arrested from the first time. And the person was looking at the officers and saying, why is this person not in jail? And they had to say, well, it's because how the jail runs, and people don't want to hear that, but that's the facts. That's the reality. That's the truth. Right. So if we catch them and we take them to the jail and they're not being held, they're not being required to either sit and cool down or post a bond or wait and see a judge, not even being fingerprinted and photographed and having the arrest documented into the system, then that's a problem. And that's what I talk about. You guys, the ones that live in this county, is demanding your elected officials to answer those questions. I promise you, because of the things I've been saying, the things I've been doing since I've been running for office, there has been some changes. It's micro changes. It's moving in the right direction. But for the past 7 years and 3 months, they've not been doing that. But just because Chris Lowery is starting to say it and shed light on the situation, that the jail's closed and that they don't have collaboration and cooperation with other agencies, they're trying to start doing that. But I think they're a day late, dollar short. But I do feel like that they should still be held accountable and ask those questions. Drive by the sheriff's office and want to know why you have lack of response from the sheriff himself, from phone calls to at his office on a regular basis. Ask those questions. Find out why, when your loved one gets locked up in the jail, that you can't get someone to call you back to inform you what's going on with them, to let you know how you could put money on their accounts so they can make phone calls, because there are no in-person visits no more. People who have never been to jail don't know that, right? Somebody in my family, in my immediate family, no one's ever been to jail. So if one of my children were to have to go to jail, it would be a learning experience for me. And I think we ought to be transparent and talk to people. When you call up there and say, hey, is so-and-so in jail? What can I do to get them messages, communicate with them, ensure that they're getting whatever resources they need? But I know of cases where people are being in jail for four days to a week and not even know how to be able to get in touch with their loved ones. And in case you don't know, the way they communicate with their loved ones is through a system called HomeWave. It's a tablet system. I'm not sure if it's Android, iPhone, or iPad or whatever, but it's a tablet system that costs 50 cents. I think it's 50 cents a minute for them to talk to you, send messages, or what have you. But I'm also being told that not everybody has access to those tablets. There's a few in the pods down there. So that's part of this. When someone goes to jail, then we need to be able to communicate with the family and the loved ones, the wives, the mothers, the fathers, about their loved one in there. I'm not saying this is a day camp. I'm not saying that this is supposed to be like going to Disneyland. But what I am saying is basic human rights need to be held. I think that it's okay to let people know, give them a way, surefire way that they could tell their loved ones, hey, I was arrested. I'm going to jail. I'm in jail. I will be here until Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever that looks like, until I can get in front of a judge and get a bond. Or this is what my bond is. Let's see if we can work on getting that out and work the process through jail. I am not saying that everyone goes to jail that they need to stay in there. I think there's a reason for the bonds. And then, but I am saying that there are certain people. There's one in this jail right now that has been charged with capital murder 3 times since 2019. That person should not get out of jail. There's 3 bodies on this person's name, and we've yet to be able to get a conviction on them. And that is disheartening, and that is problematic within our community. And those are the things that you have got to get pissed off about and ask your elected officials, prosecutors, sheriffs, chiefs of police, what are we doing to make this community safe? What are we doing? How does this happen? How do we have someone, charged with capital murder 3 times? And I promise you, it's not that they have been found not guilty. It's the fact that they are being null prossed, lack of evidence, lack of investigation, lack of prosecution, what have you. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you would be doing good to be asking those questions and demanding answers. Did they take in-person visits away because of manning on shifts? Christian, I don't know why they took them away. I know some years ago when we had somebody in there that was a family member, I would go up there and visit on, I cannot remember if it was Saturdays or Sundays, and it was an in-person video visit, meaning they had booths in there that had video, basically like video conferencing, where I could see them in their pods and have a 10-minute, I think it was a 10-minute visit with them. I'm not sure if they got rid of it because of manning or not. I wouldn't think that would be a reason why you would, because I plan on bringing it back unless someone can justify to me on why they're not doing that. Because I would do it much like we did in the prison, is that people on an alternating basis, if it's a manning issue, people on an alternating weekend basis would cover down to allow for visitations to happen, because that's part of health, morale, and welfare of your detainee population as well. So a little bit of visit can go a long way. And then there are some people that just can't afford to visit at 50 cents a minute or whatever, what have you. So I'm not happy that they don't have the in-person visits. I can't give you an exact answer on why they don't. I can tell you that, from my perspective, I'm somebody who doesn't take no. How do we get to a yes? And if it is a manning issue, then me, my administration, my command staff, people that are off will be given opportunities to come in and work for overtime or offset hours or whatever that looks like to be able to accomplish that. But yes, if manning is the reason, that's an unacceptable reason in my opinion. So I have my personal opinion that I think it becomes part of laziness. I think it becomes a part of lackadaisical. I think it's part of how people look at detainees versus regular citizens, and I think they just become accustomed to saying, well, there's a way for them to visit. We'll just do it this way and check that box. And I don't think that's the right way to do it. I do believe when you hear me talk about citizens of Jefferson County, those detainees are citizens as well, right? So if it is Manning, then we will definitely be able to fix that. And whatever the other issue is, I will get to the bottom of it, and we will come up with a solution for that as well. It's tough for me to give you total solutions on everything because they are currently not being very transparent and provide me with the documentation that has been requested through the FOIA information. We get bits and pieces and not complete stories to paint the full picture. But that's okay because we're going to keep doing what we do, win this race, and come in strong January of 2027. Kathy says, it seems like nowadays people say if it's not a felony, it's not a big deal. What had happened to that mindset? So, I don't know. I think what happens amongst this community, from being someone who works in it, is that I know for a fact I've seen on their Facebook page, I was told who posted it, but because I didn't actually see his name, I won't put his name on it, but an administrator over there allegedly was the one that posted on their Facebook some while back that said, petty crimes or misdemeanor crimes, people shouldn't be locked up for petty crimes. Matter of fact, hang on a second. I'll see if I can't find that. And I'm telling you that I believe that low-level crimes do lead to higher level crimes, and that accountability gets you in the system. Let's see. Yeah, right here it said the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says we absolutely. Somebody commented the jail does not even hold for crimes. How are you advocating that it is a rehabilitation center unless it's a violent crime? The jail does not hold. Make it make sense. And somebody from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office responded on their Facebook page. We absolutely do, just not for petty misdemeanors that a lot of officers like you use as an excuse to charge people with simply to get them off the street and out of their hair. Being a law enforcement officer reaches well beyond the citation book and handcuffs. Once you gain a few more years under your belt, then you'll better understand, ma'am. The jail is not a dumping place for officers who do not know how to use their discretion in issuing citations for nonviolent misdemeanors. Moreover, until you have actually managed jail and understand the constitutional part of it. The constitutional duty to manage the jail population, we can't have a serious conversation or dialogue. So what I would say to that is that was very smart aleckly put from the current sheriff's office, whoever put that on there about a year ago. But yes, if you've never ran a jail, there is an aspect to that. But what I'm suggesting, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, what I'm suggesting is not only are they receiving a citation, but they are photographed, fingerprinted, and booked in the AFA system. So there is documentation, number one, for officer safety. So another officer that deals with them 30 minutes after you refuse to take them in the jail, that they do know that this person just had a gun, or this person just fought with an individual, this person just committed a terroristic threatening, what have you. Because regardless of what you say, I'm out there on the streets. I'm telling you, I know that felonies are being turned away from that jail. So don't just say misdemeanors. Don't just say petty crimes. That's not the only thing that you turn away. You will keep a shoplifter, but you'll turn away a felon in possession by certain persons, and then that's a felon in possession of a firearm. That actually happened to me. So don't tell me that that's all you do. But I will tell you that from my perspective, that lack of accountability on low-level crimes or misdemeanor crimes, that does lead to higher crimes. I'm running into people that have multiple warrants. And that's what ends up happening. You give them a citation, they never see a judge, they don't go to court, they get a warrant for failure to appear, then they have multiple failure to appear warrants, and then you won't take them. And so then here, that's the question to you. What do you do with the ones that you made us issue a citation to? They get a failure to appear, and then you don't take them on the warrants. How do they ever get in front of a judge? Answer that. Go back, find that officer that you told that to, that you were a smart aleck to, and answer that to them. I didn't put names on it, so if that hurts your feelings, if that's the if the slipper fits, then wear it. I'm just saying that came from your Facebook page. So whoever posted that, go back to that question, go back to that answer if you didn't delete it, and answer to them. What do you do in that situation? That's what I'm talking about. So let's see. Kim says she see where they changed the phone call and the mail system. Yeah, I believe I saw something on that where they were changing the mail to a digital mail system, much like what the ADC is going to. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know they're using it under the guise of controlling contraband coming in. Um, I would have to see the process in place. I'd have to see the people that sell that system. And when I say sell it, immediately I start pushing back and saying, well, you're having budgetary issues to get manning, to get proper nutrition, proper mats, proper cleanliness, proper care. Why are we spending more money on this? I haven't been privy to the budget and privy to what that costs, but that immediately makes me want to, do we want to spend more money, or do we want to just do a better job, hold people accountable on searching the mail that's coming in and testing it for contraband? I'm kind of like on a seesaw on that. I got to do some more investigation to figure out what is better on that. But, if it's costing the sheriff's office money and you're already having budgetary constraints, I find that odd, right? So there is a way to have a mailroom personnel to do that. So how ironic. You asked, Kim, you said you asked how much it costs, but you didn't get an answer. That's kind of what we're running into when people from my staff are FOIing things. We get the runaround or we don't get a response. And that's not just from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, but that does happen. I will tell you that, when I become the sheriff, you ask me that question, I'll tell you. Because I think you have a right to know it's your tax dollars that's going to work. And then I would need to be able to explain, if we were going to that system, the pros and cons of doing that, the cost and effect analysis, as well as the morale. Because I think you got to look at morale within the unit. I think you got to look at cost. I think you got to look at manpower. I think you got to look at the contraband issues, and then the constitutionality of it as well. I think it's a whole piece of the pie, piece of the puzzle that you need to look at before you can really make a determination. I'm going to assume they did that. However, we all know they're not being very transparent, so we don't know what the fact finding of that was. Let's see. I feel at least used to go in person and would talk to person on screen, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Lane, you are correct. That's how it used to be, and I do think that's better for the morale of the inmates. That's better for the family environment, is to at least be able to do that. I think you can do both. I think there are some people that won't be able to go down to the jail and wait in line and do those visitations like I used to have to do. But I do know there's something to be said for that, as well as some people can't afford to pay that 50 cent a minute price for being able to do the home wave system. So I think you can do a mixture of both. That's just my opinion on that. So, Christy, I feel they would have handled the Scotty guy differently, then Donna would still be here. I don't understand why they didn't take him to jail at times they call. So, to be fair, what Christy's talking about is a homicide that happened in Jefferson County, where a lady named Donna was killed by her, I believe it was her boyfriend. This just happened on Friday night. You're the third person to say something to me about that. I guess there was some history there. I will tell you that's why the citizens need to be asking those questions and do some investigative and find out why. Because I will tell you that the law is very clear on a domestic violence situation. You have assault on a family household member, which I believe is listed as a Class C misdemeanor. Then you have domestic battery on a family member, domestic battery third on a family member. You have second and first are felonies. The second, it can be a felony if there happens to be extenuating circumstances or prior convictions. However, for the most part, it is listed as a Class A misdemeanor. However, it says the person shall be taken to jail, right? Shall, and they don't have a choice but to accept them based off of the criteria that the judge shall issue a non-contact order prior to the person being released from jail by posting a bond or on their own recognizance. So if there was a domestic assault or if there was a domestic battery in that situation and responding officers were aware of that, they should have taken him to jail. You're the second person to ask that question. I have not. I did not work that case. I've not ever been involved in that case. I've never been to their house, but I will tell you that's how they work. That's how I work. And I do not play around with domestic violence situations at all for those reasons. And prayers to her family that this tragic situation has occurred, and hopefully they can get some closure and peace out of this. So bear with me, something just popped up on the computer. Let's see. Kim said she had asked how much it cost, and she didn't get an answer, and that falls into the transparency thing I talk about. Lane says, if they don't have a in-person visit, it means that the contraband is being brought in from workers, correct? Or how else would it be getting in? So yes, I would tell you this, Lane. So it's brought in. If they get rid of outside mail coming in, then that means no contraband can come in that way, right? So the other ways that it come in is, I'm not going to just say workers, but outside people coming in, whether that's contractors, workers, any sort of visitor that comes in that allows, that breaks the threshold of the exterior of the facility. That's one way to come in. The other way is drops, which is people drive by and place items close to a fence or close to a pickup point area where an inmate may have access to that, as well as there has been situations I know within the Department of Corrections where people have used drones to make drops and so forth and so on. So we will be combating that as much as possible. I do believe by strengthening your search criteria through metal detectors, cell phone detectors, personal pat downs, and searches of all personnel entering that jail area, whether it's through booking or through the sally port or through the front doors. And it doesn't matter if you're the sheriff or the mayor or if you're just a visitor of a detainee, then I think you should be required to go through that search. And I think that's how you cut down the contraband. But yes, contraband leads to problems. Problems lead to criminal activity. Criminal activity can lead to more severe violent criminal activity within inside that jail. And I think that's part of our problem. So you are correct, sir. So anyway, as we move forward in this campaign, just know that I'm your independent candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff for November 2026. I'm your independent candidate. We are still collecting signatures. I've been getting a runaround from our county clerk's office, and I say runaround. They're telling me what is in line with Secretary of State's office. However, there is a discrepancy in the numbers that they've given me, and there's a discrepancy between how Lonoke County's doing it, because I got a buddy that's running for sheriff over there doing the same exact thing, and the way they're doing it versus how we're doing it. And I think it's ironic that our clerk's office is doing it one way that makes it harder, more difficult, more problematic for an independent candidate, but that's okay. I'm one of those guys, like I tell you all the time, if you give me a no or give me a problem or give me an obstacle, I just figure out how to get over it and get to a yes. So we've gotten that figured out. If you have not signed our petition yet, please come by 6523 Dalloway Road, 6523 Dalloway Road, Diamond State K9, and sign our independent candidate petition just to add to our numbers that are on there. So we're approaching the for sure number that we need, but I definitely want to overshoot that by about 20% minimally, so that way that this clerk's office does not have an opportunity to say we didn't meet the minimum number, right? So if you've been involved with this county at all, you know that it runs a little bit differently. So we want to make sure and make sure that we're good on that. So let's see. Kathy says our neighborhood looks out for each other. How will you try to help other neighborhoods do the same? So part of that, Kathy, is going to be having every deputy and underneath the sheriff, to include myself, is having assigned areas they're responsible for, having assigned areas that they're going into and doing community relations and doing a workmanship, a work conference setting up, going back to the old school of neighborhood watches and utilizing social media, monitored by and partnered with the sheriff's office, as well as modern technology through Ring doorbells, ASU cameras, so forth and so like that. But it's going to be boots on the ground. It's going to be employees of the sheriff's office and elected officials going out in these communities, developing those relationships, guiding them through how a neighborhood like ours has kind of went back to the old school ways of doing things, welcoming neighbors, greeting neighbors, having conversations with neighbors, exchanging phone numbers, and being involved just within the community, within your neighborhood, which will then grow into your community and so forth and so on. So that's what we look at doing. And I think the model of our neighborhood is a great place to start, Kathy, because we've had zero trouble since we've been here. And the moment that somebody comes in and starts trying to create some sort of criminal activity, it gets to be dealt with and announced across all spectrums through phone calls, social media, police departments, and so forth, right? So we will also, so it's kind of it's a big puzzle, right, Kathy? And when I talk about putting butts in seats and streamlining the sheriff's office to put more people in marked patrol cars and in uniforms, and then placing them in the communities, as well as having dedicated times and places that they're at, attending community meetings and so forth. That's something that Sheriff Higgins in Pulaski County seems to do fairly well, as well as having the supper with the sheriffs and answering these questions, and then lastly, continuing these monthly lives with access to the sheriff to address these complaints, issues, and develop into community-oriented policing to help the citizens out to take care of themselves as well. So I would love to be able to expound upon the reserve program, the part-time program, and strategically have these individuals in these communities be the flagships for the sheriff's office in with these communities to get these neighborhood watch programs up and going, as well as developing these strong bonds and relationships within the sheriff's office and the community. So hopefully that answered your question. What's up, Caleb? Caleb is my guy at Diamond State Canine that's holding it down, allowing me to run for sheriff here in Jefferson County. When I'm not there, he's taking care of it. We partner and communicate daily on what needs to happen, and he's holding it down for there. So for all your dog training needs, come see us at Diamond State Canine. Caleb, Kathy, and Devin have got that place on lockdown from all your grooming, daycare, doggy boarding, dog training needs. We got you covered. Feel free to reach out to me at 870-556-0330. Talk to me about any sheriff-related issues, Jefferson County issues, law enforcement issues, or I can also put you in contact with Caleb or Kathy or Devin over at Diamond State for any of your dog-related issues. So we can be your complete solution for what you need as related to your dog. So, but back to my platform. So we talk about accountability and tough on crime. We talk about safe, efficient jail operations. We talk about partnering with local, state, municipality, and federal agencies. So this is a huge problem. When we're getting a grade of an F, when our crime rates are through the roof, then it's going, and manning is an issue because all agencies, all departments seem to be having issues with filling all their vacancies. So why would we not partner like a team, like a football team? Those are the analogies I've given a lot of times. When we talk about, you got a quarterback, a running back, lineman, defensive end, or tight ends, wide receivers, and linemen, right? Every player has a part to do on that team, and that's what we'll do with the law enforcement agencies around here by deputizing them and working together collaborative to combat the crime within Jefferson County. We are going to get this back to a community of safe, loving community that has prosperity and growth with economic development. That's what's going to happen here. I promise you. Stand back and watch. Just cast your vote. Get me in office, and you'll see how I'll work with everybody to make this happen. Kim said she went and signed the petition and got to pet the dogs. What could be better? She's talking about if you come up there and see us at Diamond State Canine. My personal dogs seem to be running around there pretty regular. That's Maggie May and Patty Pearl. That's a standard poodle and a golden doodle that love to meet you at the door, love the pets, love to see our visitors that come to 6523 Dalloway Road. And everybody who comes there just seems to really enjoy petting and loving on them. So thanks, Kim. Pretty sweet dogs there. Thank you so much for coming and signing that petition as well. Anybody over there at Easy, let them know, hey, I'll swing by, or they can come by. I need to get that signed. I need to get more signatures on there. I'll take them all right? I wanted to bring it the other day when I toured y'all's awesome facility. However, I didn't know about the appropriateness of it, just the way some people feel. It's the oddest thing in this community. It seems to be like people want to sign it, but they don't want to be seen signing it because they're scared. I've had people physically, literally tell me they're scared of people knowing that they signed my petition. Doesn't even mean they're voting for me. It just means they support the process. But that's okay. Again, like I tell you, we don't take no's for answers. We just figure out how to get to yes. That means I got to come to you and meet behind a building or whatever. I'll do it. So you let them know, Kim. You send me a message, 870-556-0330. Send me a message on Facebook. I'll be glad to come by and get any of those folks to sign over there. So as long as they're a registered voter in Jefferson County, and I definitely want to earn their support. So I would be remiss if I do not remind you that on May the 9th of May, 2026, at the Whitehall Community Center, we're having my largest fundraiser of this campaign. It's got the Boots and Bling fundraiser, where it's going to have the Aces Wild Band and hundreds of constituents there. It's an opportunity to come out, support my candidacy, hear the message, dance, drink, eat, have a good time, listen to some good music, and visit with your community. So May the 9th, I'm inviting all of you out there. May 9th, reach out to me for a ticket. You can reach me at 870-556-0330. We have tickets for sale at Diamond State Canine, or you can get them at LoweryForSheriff.com/donate. It's a place to get them digitally. So I look forward to seeing you all out there. A safe and loving community. Love that. Don't we all want that? Yes. I don't know who would not want that, Kathy. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we chose the neighborhood we live in. It is a great community, great neighborhood. The community of Whitehall is a great community. And I believe, I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again, if you can do it in a town of 6,000, you can do it in a community of 60,000, which encompasses the entire community and county of Jefferson County. So I believe we can combat this crime and make it a loving community that we will prosper and have economic growth and development and make this a destination and no longer be the lowest rated county in the state of Arkansas. We have got to change that narrative, and we do that by you casting our votes. So anyway, anybody got any further questions on there? May 9th, 2026, Dance, Drink, Aces Wild Band. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Kathy, for putting that out there. I know my team didn't really log on today because I didn't bother telling them that I wasn't going to go live tomorrow. But yeah, May 9th, let me highlight that again. May 9th, Whitehall Community Center. That is our fundraiser. Come on out and have a good time. So check us out. So before I get off here, is there any final questions that you want answered from me? Anything about me personally, professionally, dog related, law enforcement related, county related? If you got questions specifically about me, I welcome them. All questions deserve to be answered as long as it's asked in a professional manner. We don't deal with any hate on here, but come out, ask whatever questions you want. We'll feel free. Thank you, Caleb. Caleb says that. I appreciate it. But ask the questions that you got. If you got concerns, comments about how you're treated at the local county government level right now, response times from the sheriff's office, loved ones in the jail, communication, lack of communication, transparency, press releases, and what have you, please feel free to ask those questions. Demand that your current sheriff and elected officials answer those questions. and that they provide you with the information that you seek. If they can't tell you because it's under investigation, that's what they need to be able to tell you. As I said, we can't disclose that because of the investigative parts. So, but just for them to ignore it is absolutely ridiculous. I encourage you, if you don't get a return phone call, go to the sheriff's office. Go up there and request to speak to them. You can get in. There's somebody behind the glass. I toured it the other day, and you can tell them what you're there for. You have the sheriff. You have the chief deputy. His name is John Hughes. Then you have chiefs of the jail, Bo Hudson. You have captains, majors. Call them by name, request to speak to a supervisor if you're not getting the services that you need. Christy asked the question earlier about a domestic call that she didn't feel like was handled correctly. Again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of that, but you could definitely call up there and talk to them and ask questions and bring up concerns if you feel that a patrolman did not handle something in the way that it should have been done. Because the laws are here to protect us, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, oh, Kathy's just announcing when my next scheduled live will be on Monday. Yeah, absolutely. She's saying hard questions, tough questions. There's no question that I won't answer. So I was asked one question tonight. I gave my response on it. I'd love to hear what their feedback was on it, but I would also like to hear uh, their take on it. And that question was simply about what's my position on people being dumped here in Jefferson County. So would love to hear his response on that as well, and his comment on that as well. So anyway, I'm fixing to get off here. It is Sunday evening. It's my normally relaxation day. I wanted to take some time though, so I'm not going to be able to do live tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's live. Well, if it does happen at 6:30, it will not be very long because I will be teaching a class. But there's a possibility I may be on a break for a few minutes just to go live, just to let you know that I'm still out there and see if there's any questions. But feel free to shoot me a message and talk to me and ask any questions. I will be fielding those through text messages, social media, and comments. So just remember, if you hadn't signed the petition, come by 6523 Dalloway Road and do that. Biggest fundraiser of the year going May the 9th. Whitehall Community Center, get your tickets there. Reach out to me through Facebook. I'll answer any questions you got. And as always, remember, be safe and God bless Jefferson County.